In another video, we discussed the importance of a hospital tank. While that is critical, there is another specialty aquarium that you must have. Now, in truth, this is not something I spent the majority of my years having. I never had a quarantine tank. And that was because all of the fish that I brought in were fish whose provenance I understood. I knew where they came from. I trusted their source. That is no longer the case. We receive fish now from all over the world that have been shipped in such a wide variety of ways that we cannot be certain they are healthy, and often they are not. So, we need a quarantine aquarium. This is not what you think it is. It is something that will surprise you. Let's get into it. Well, hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish. Let's talk now about a quarantine tank. A quarantine tank is completely different. A quarantine tank, in point of fact, is a regular tank such as you have your community fish in, but is one that has perhaps only one or two guppies or small tetras or some other more dither fish in it. Now, when you get new fish, if you are satisfied that the source of those fish is free of parasites, free of pathogens, free of disease, if it comes from a neighbor or a friend's tank, if it comes from a shop that you have absolute confidence in, you may put it directly into your tank. Frankly, I spent years doing that. I do not do it anymore. The industry has become very sloppy and very corrupt in its practices, especially its holding and shipping practices. Sick fish are routinely shipped by incompetent wholesalers, jobbers, even farmers. And there are shops, primarily the big box stores, that routinely will sell sick and injured fish. So it becomes critical to be able to have an aquarium, a tank that you can put newcomers in and observe them for a minimum of a week. 2 weeks to a month is preferable. 2 weeks is probably optimal. If you are very persnickety, go for a month. But a week at absolute minimum. Now, when you first get these fish in the bag, you can, for a day or two, put them in a hospital tank with no salt in it, or a small amount, if any, just to be able to observe them for a day or so to make sure they're healthy, they're not going to die immediately, they don't have injury or some other visible problem. Long enough to be able to observe carefully. And then, if all looks okay, move them into a quarantine tank. What is the composition of a quarantine tank? Well, it should have everything in it that your regular tank has. If you have a deep substrate, put a deep substrate in that tank. If you have plants growing, put plants in it to grow. You also feed these fish. They're going to be in there for a while. They probably have come in starved, so it will be beneficial to be able to feed them, provided there are no obvious pathogens, no obvious disease. If there are, then they need to be moved into the hospital tank and treated accordingly. So the idea is to put otherwise healthy looking fish into a quarantine environment and observe them for a matter of optimally 2 weeks to ensure that they're okay. There are some pathogens and some parasites that do not show up right away, that may take a week or even 2 to become apparent. So it's time well spent. It will also give you a chance to get to know that fish a little better, to be able to have it isolated. Yes. Remember I mentioned at the beginning you might have a dither fish or 2 in that tank? Well, do. A guppy or 2, a little tetra, something that is more or less disposable, that will act as a test subject, if you will, for the new fish. Now, obviously, you don't want it to be something that the new fish is simply going to eat. That would not be helpful. You want it to be something comparable in size, and by all means something that is healthy. If it becomes sick, then you know you have a problem. So it is a canary in the coal mine. It's a test subject to determine whether the fish you are bringing in is carrying any kind of pathogen or any kind of disease that may otherwise not be obvious. 2 weeks, up to a month. After that period of time, if all is well, you can be confident that your new fish is going to be finding a new home in your primary community aquarium, and you can move them accordingly. So I hope that's been helpful. Both of these tanks are critical to be able to have available to you, and critical in these times to be able to use. Now, with ick would be the single exception. Ick needs to be spotted instantly, within the first 2 days of an ick parasite. By day 3, it will have spawned, and there will be multiple instances of parasites on multiple fish. By day 7, every fish in the tank will be affected to the point of death. So it's critical to notice ick right away. It is very apparent. It is very easy to see. It is also extremely easy to defeat. Simply raise the temperature to 87 degrees. It will not hurt other fish. It will not hurt plants. It will not hurt snails or anything else. 87 degrees, 30 to 30.5 degrees centigrade, and within 2 to 3 days, the ick will have dropped off the fish and gone into the soil, where it will be dead by day 4 for lack of a host. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this series of specialty aquariums. We may add to it as we discover there are other specialty tanks that we could create as ways of improving fish keeping in the fish room. For now, the hospital tank and the welcoming tank, the quarantine tank, are the 2 most important that we want to share with you, and hope that you will find a little corner in your fish room for each of these 2 very, very important systems. Appreciate your patience, your kindness, and your attention. Take care. Love you. Bye for now. We also have a store and are selling a lot of different kinds of things, mainly plants. We sell our substrate, we sell sodium, we sell some other items that are basic and helpful for new tank setup or for embellishing an older tank. The link for the store is also in the description below. Thank you for tuning in.